Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wicked Sunday. This is Capital A Trading, and this is going to be my Forex weekly video. So again, it's just a video where I'm looking at the best investment opportunities in the markets, showing you what I may possibly do, and then hopefully you can copy that and catch some profits with me. So if that sounds good, if you trade yourself, if you make investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Lots of exciting things coming in the next month. I can promise you that. With that being said, let's get straight into the charts. Let's take a look at the fundamentals for the week and see how that may impact the news of the charts. Okay, guys, so we're approaching the end of May now. It's always worthy to look at the news, see what's going on. So there's a few things that stand out this week, and there'll be one that's really heavily involved in the pound Australian dollar. So be aware of what I'm about to say here with that interest rate decision, as you can probably already see. Tuesday, 5:30 in the morning, so a couple of hours before the London session, Australian dollar is going to have their interest rate decision announced. Okay, so there will be something that I'm going to be looking at in the pound Aussie. So make sure you catch that towards the end of this video. Going through the week, okay, we have got NFP on Friday. So that's the non-farm payrolls surrounding the US dollar. It tends to kind of bring a slow week when the NFP is around. Of course, it usually likes to hold out until Friday, which obviously it's going to be on Friday. The rest of the news isn't really doing anything for me. There's a few speeches here by Bailey, obviously the Bank of England, surrounding the pound. The employment change for the US dollar, that will have a little movement, I guess, on Thursday. Again, there's another speech, the monetary policy report hearings for the pound, Thursday evening, Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, the NFP there, that's going to be what most things are going to be hanging out for the week. So again, expect a slow start to the week, and then the explosiveness may come around Thursday, Friday. And of course, the Canadian dollar's unemployment rate, that's going to be something that stands out to me as well, something that I'll be watching. So again, be aware of that I've just mentioned. And then, of course, I'm going to show you why in a couple of minutes. So that's been the fundamentals for this week. Always check on this before you start your trades for the week, because this is where you're going to see the impacted moments that may actually come throughout that week. So always check your fundamentals. With that, let's get into the charts. Okay, guys, as always, this is mainly for the students. I'm going to start on the gold. So the first one I want you to look at is the gold USD. Now, last week I mentioned this area around the 1900 to 1920 about the sell. We had a reaction around 1912 and had a good drop around about 1883. As you know, on gold, it's a very profitable move. What I'm going to say now for this week is that I still want to see it come a little bit higher, and then hopefully we get another little move like that towards the end of the week surrounding that news that I just mentioned. So 1920 is going to still be the main focus. That's what I want to see it get hit, and then another drop, and that's what will actually close this little gap up here. And obviously I just want to see it kind of interact with this blue candle. So as you can see, it may come to 1930. So let's say 1920 to 1930, around that range. That's where I'm going to be looking to place a small position for a sell on gold this week, and it may come towards later on in the week. So be aware of that. Now, that's gold USD. If I just move through to the next one, bear with me. That's the gold euro. So this one looks a bit better to me. It looks like it's got to go hit that candle, and it hasn't had that little move yet. So be aware of this one as well, just to be a bit more precise off the candle there. Around 1576 to 1580. That's what we're going to watch this week. And again, we're looking for that reaction around that level. I'll be placing small positions to have a go at this and see if we can get a profitable move from it. So that's 1576 on this one to around 1580. Gold is very volatile, so you've got to give it a little bit of breathing space. Okay, so that's gold USD and gold euro. Keep an eye out for that this week. Okay, guys, next up is the UK 100. So for those of you who follow me, you'll know I trade this quite a lot. I'm still looking for price to interact with this level here where my red lines are. So I still want to see it hit around the 7270 mark. So just if I break down the chart and come down the time frames now, I'm going to come down to a 4 hour. And what I'm looking at is the way price has been kind of just moving out of this level here. So I can see some market play here. They move away, they come back to it. I see some more here. They moves up, it comes back to it. So I feel like there's something here like a stairwell just walking up, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to say this week is just keep an eye on this around the 6920, 6960 mark. I want to see it just drop it back around here, put its foot on the next step, and then move again. So I hope that makes sense. It does to me. That's all that matters to me. 6960, 6920, somewhere around there. A possible buy to ride up into that area. It won't be a long-term trade. It will just be something, obviously, where price is now here. I want to see it then rise just up into this level, which can be a profitable move just from there to there. And then I may be thinking about closing that buy to enter this what may be a longer term sell. So again, that's the UK 100. Keep an eye on that this week. Hey guys, let's get started on the currencies. Now, this is the euro pound. I've been annihilating this recently, so get your ears perked right now. We've had the sell from the 87 mark. We had another sell from around the 86, 600 mark. Both great entries. Both have been very profitable moves. Now, what I'm expecting to see, I still want to see price come down towards this level. So I do believe it's still got to come down here and interact with, let's say, the 85 mark. But what I want to see this week, okay, if I'm just looking at this level here, it's round about the 86, 300 again. If I just come to a 2 hour, it's around this level here. Yep, 86, 297, 86, 300 to be precise. I want to see price pull back up to there, and then we may get another entry. Now, again, I say this a lot in my trades. It's time. It's at that level where it's time to stop being naive. It's done a sell from there. It's done a sell from up there. I've had lots of fun in here, and soon the fun will stop. It will come, and the price will rise up and take out all of this liquidity that's sitting here. But until then, I believe we're going to get another move just down to that lower 85 level. And then what I'm talking about with that liquidity grab will come. So this may be the last bus before they eventually come and ruin the whole scene. So just be aware of the 86, 300, 86, 400, somewhere back up there. I want to see price reject. And then hopefully with a London session, seeing the pound get strong, hopefully with some of the news, we've got the speeches. Don't forget about the pound. Let's see what's going to happen around that. So my advice, keep an eye on 86, 300 to 86, 400. A possible sell entry is going to come from there. It may go 500 just looking at this now. So we've got to give it a little bit of time to breathe. We may get the big move later on in the week. So keep an eye out for that. That's the euro pound. Okay, guys, next up is the pound USD. I'll quickly just show you why on a higher time frame. I'm looking at this sell area here. I want to see if price is going to have a push. If I just come back to the hour, what I mentioned last week was the sell from the 142 mark. So as you can see, regarding criteria, we would have been fine on one, possible two entries. Now it's pretty simple. Price has come back to the 142 on Friday, finished the evening just like this. So what I'm looking at now is I believe this is going to drop. I believe we could literally press the entry on the Sunday night, and I believe we're going to get at least a push down. What I'm going to look at is if it's going to stall around the 141 mark again. So I'm just kind of letting this one come to me. I wouldn't say sell it, buy it. Keep an eye on the 142 level. That may be the push. I believe 141 would be the better idea. I believe the liquidity is eventually going to get taken above this area around the 142, 400. So that's the pound USD. If I just move to the euro USD, this one's a little bit clearer. I'm still waiting on that 123 level. I still believe that's going to be the big main entry for the big long-term sell. If I just break it down a little bit and come down to the 2 hour, what I do want everyone to watch out for is the 122, 500. I just want to see if price is going to rise back up to there. It may not come to that level, the 123. That may push from there. And then we can get another, let's say 100 pip move. And then the 123 might get there. So keep an eye on that. That's what I believe is going to happen this week on the Euro USD. And again, it may be later on in the week. Remember, the US dollar likes to gain its strength towards the latter part. So again, keep an eye on them two. That's the pound USD and the Euro USD. Okay, guys, next up, this is the important part of the video. It's going to be the Euro AUD and the pound AUD. Now, remember, we've got that interest rate decision, which I believe is going to spark some strength into the Australian dollar. And that's where we're going to see our main profits for the week. So what I'm suggesting is I've been monitoring this candle here on the daily, on the Euro AUD. I've been watching this level around the 158, 159, and I like the way it's just been struggling underneath it. So if I just come down and break it down a little bit, what I want to suggest is around the 158, 500 to 159, look out for the possible sell early this week. So throughout Monday, I'm going to be watching these two like a hawk, and I'm looking for the sell on this one around 158, 500 to 159. Now, this one isn't the main one I'm going to focus on. The main one I'm going to focus on is the pound Aussie, and you're about to see why. So if I just come to the daily time frame, we're at like what I call the last point of call entry. So from this swing, if this is going to sell and continue going down, this would be the last area that it reaches to before it comes down and starts making a monstrous move to the downside. So again, I still believe it can come a little bit higher, a little bit out of my area. 185 will be the last point of call. If it starts to breach 185, I'll call the trade off. But at the moment, it'll be watch for the 184, 500 level to 185 for that sell. And of course, remember Tuesday morning at 5:30, a few hours before the London Open, Australia are going to announce their interest rate decision. So you may have to get up early that day for the London watchers. And of course, we may get the move very quickly that day. It may happen very, very soon within the London Open, within maybe the London close that day. So again, just be aware, Tuesday, Euro AUD, Pound AUD, they're going to be my main focuses, okay? Okay, guys, another main focus coming up this week will be the Pound CAD. Pure and simply, I like the 172 level. I like what's been left here on this daily picture with that blue candle. And I just want to see it get interacted with, and then we're going to get the sell there. And remember, the CAD's got an unemployment rate, I believe, on Friday. So again, this may be something that's, you have to be patient for. It may only start kicking off on Wednesday. It may stall whole of Monday and Tuesday, and then we start to see the action later in the week. So it's just the 172 level, Pound CAD. I'll be looking to set it around there, a small position. Keep an eye on that one. Okay, guys, next up will be the Pound NZD and the Euro NZD. So this was last week. The interest rate decisions came for these. And of course, we got the strength. So that's what we're kind of looking for around the Australian dollar this week. What I'm looking at now on these pairs, we've had the move. They've shown their hand. They've shown that the direction may now be heading to the downside. And we're just basically looking at retests. Now, the Pound NZD, this one take with a pinch of salt, because you'll see why in a second, with the Euro NZD looks better. But just looking at this one here, I'm looking at a retest around the 197 level. I just want to see price come back to the area where they've obviously manipulated before. They've left something here. They need to come back, touch it, and then it should then continue. So keep an eye out for that. This is the better looking one. It looks a bit cleaner. It looks a bit clearer. It's the 169,500 level. So again, it's just back to the same area that they manipulated last week. Let's see what happens now. Don't be so naive on these ones. It may burst through. Okay, so just be aware when you're trading these. Have a tight stop loss. It may now come and eat the liquidity. But I'm looking for the retest. I've got to see if the sell is going to come again. Keep an eye out for them. Okay, guys, quick update. NZD USD now. I've been running these down for a few weeks now, and it's getting closer, but it's still about being patient. I'm still going to wait for the 73,600 level. I want to see it interact with that black candle at the top there. And then obviously, hopefully we see the sell again. That's the NZD USD. Now, of course, we've got the Australian dollars interest rate decision this week. So this one, it's kind of progressed away from this area quite nicely now. But what I'm looking at is just this gap here. I don't know if you can see it, this blue candle here. That's how Friday finished, and it's kind of interacted with that gap and closed it. If I just come down to a 4 hour, what I'm going to be looking at is there's a candle here I want to see price interact with. It's around the 76,350, let's call it 76,400 mark for the buy with the interest rate decision only. If that doesn't happen around the interest rate decision, what I've just mentioned there will be invalid very quickly for me. So I'm just looking to see if the Australian dollar does get its money pumped into it. If it does, they will usually pump it against the major, which is of course the US dollar. So when a currency wants to get stronger, first it will show its hand by beating up the main one, which is the US dollar. And then that's where you'll start to see the money trickle down throughout the other currencies. So again, just be aware of them areas and be aware of what I'm kind of looking at here on the AUD USD only for the buy push with that interest rate decision. Keep an eye on them. Okay, guys, last but not least for the week will be the Euro Yen. Now, what I'm looking at, this is a weekly time frame. So again, it's going to have to get a bit of breathing space. I could easily sit here and say, check out the 134 level. That would be too cheap. So somewhere inside this blue candle here, I believe we're going to get a sell transaction kickoff and actually have at least a push down to the 132, maybe back to the 130 level. So again, I would say let's keep an eye on the 135 as the main mark. This is going to be a longer term trade. This isn't something that I'm looking to wake up early in the morning for and catch an entry on. This may still be here by the end of next week. So again, let's just see what happens if it does hit 135 this week. And of course, I'm pretty sure I'll be updating it on the Thursday video. So make sure you check that as well. The next one will be the pound yen. Bear with me. Again, very similar to the Euro Yen. I'm just going to keep an eye on this 155, 156 level. It may come to even 157. So again, just let this one breathe. It isn't going to be short term. It will be a longer term trade. That's the pound yen and the Euro Yen. Okay, guys, that's all from me this week. If you like that, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Keep track of the investments that I've mentioned. And again, I hope you have a great trading week. A quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for everything. And again, go check that out now. It's available. Waitrose and M&S stores nationwide. I've been Capital A. I'll see you on Thursday.